Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David and this is a magic review. I have always been a PC guy. Always been a PC guy, except for the very beginning. Way back at the very beginning, my first encounter with a computer that could get on the internet was one of those iMac, Mac, Shell, tube, all-in-one tube TV box things, those bubble. Remember those bubble Macs that were like different colors, like blue or yellow or pink? My girlfriend at the time, she had one of those. It's kind of like an all-in-one. And we both used AOL, right? And we used AOL Instant Messenger. And that was like my first introduction to a computer. And then when I got a tower for the first time, of course, I bought a PC because it was a lot cheaper, right? I bought like a little small HP tower. And then one of my very first jobs was a computer technician. I was a computer technician. I'm A+, I'm MCP certified. And so I've always been on a PC. So my whole life, then when it was time to get a phone, I've always gone towards the other guys. So whatever wasn't an iMac or an iPad or an iPhone, I went the other direction. So I've done, like Nextel. I had the first Google phone that ever came out. I've always had Droid. I've always had Palm Pilot, if I want to date myself and grow up. So I've always had the other guys, right? I've always been PC. I've always been Droid. So this trick today that we're talking about is with an iPhone. And surprisingly, I get a lot of requests from app designers who say, hey, you want to review my Magic app? And I'll say, well, is it on iPhone? And they're like, yeah, it's iPhone exclusive. And I was like, yeah, I don't have an iPhone, so I can't test your Magic app. Sorry. And so I've turned down a lot of reviews because of the fact that I don't have an iPhone. But when Drop Call came out, and I was looking at Kyle Purnell and Zach Evans' trick, and Hocus Pocus reached out to me, and Hocus Pocus asked, they said, hey, do you want to review Drop Call? And then they said, well, we know you don't have an iPhone. But that's the great thing about Drop Call. You don't need to have an iPhone. You don't need to have an iPhone. In fact, if you're doing it for strangers, they don't need to know what phone you have. In fact, most people would just assume you have an iPhone because of its popularity. And I think when you show Drop Call, when you show that phone, and people see that little Apple logo, that's one of the convincers that this is legit. So that's my backstory. That's my warm-up to get into the review. Drop Call, what is it? It's a vanishing iPhone 10 trick. So you show your iPhone 10, it's in its case. Well, here, let me show you. So here's the gimmick. Here's what Drop Call looks like. This is it, right? And here's the beauty of this. This is what I think is so brilliant about this effect. And I've noticed this too, just in like everyday life, is that whenever you see a commercial for a new phone, right? Or it's in a magazine, okay? You're always gonna see it from the back. Haven't you ever noticed that? Nobody ever shows you the new phone from the front because the front is boring. There's nothing on the front. The front is just a piece of glass. In fact, if you're looking at somebody and you don't know them, they're a stranger on the bus or the subway or in the waiting room, right? This is how we see each other. We see each other like this. You are holding the back. So this is perfect, right? I mean, you don't have to prove anything. There's nothing to prove. If you just sit here and you're doing this, and we all know how to mimic holding a phone, right? Because we do it all the time. You just casually do stuff like this, or you can do something like this, right? It's easy. And if you're sitting here saying, okay, let me turn my camera on. There we go, right? It's done. So the gimmick is awesome. And they will talk a little bit about what you'd want to do if you wanted to change out the case. So let's say, like my personal phone case is like a dark navy, okay, not white. But honestly, if you're doing magic for strangers, nobody knows, right? Nobody knows what your phone case looks like. All right, I've rambled too much. Let's get into the regular questions. Let's say you pay your 40 bucks to hocus-pocus.com. What are you going to get? You're going to get a nice hard-shelled box, a little magnet enclosure box that's so trendy these days. You'll get the case, right? You'll get the case and the gimmick. There's two parts, case, gimmick. You'll get a charging cable because you're going to be able to charge USB. And there's another little extra little knick-knacky doodad thing in there. Is it what I thought? I didn't know what to think. I didn't. There was another, remember the other flash doohickey device thing? Remember the other phone? What was that called? That was Tobias Doastal or some. Remember that other trick where the phone vanished? And it was, again, it was some big kind of palmable device. So I was kind of thinking it might be that, but just the fact that you could see the case and everything. I mean, yeah. So I was very pleased with this device. How are the angles on this? I mean, surprisingly easy. And we talked a little bit about that at the top of this. Most people could care less about the face of your phone, the glass. Like, I don't know, it's just not something we think about. Can it be inspected? It's inspectable with a ditch, okay? You're gonna make the phone disappear, and then you have to make it really disappear if you wanna hand the case out. But the case is nothing, it's just a shell, right? There's nothing to find. What's the overall quality and production value of the video? You got Kyle Purnell and Zach Evans. They're on a couch talking to a stationary camera, but they will later shift into teaching mode, and they will have a cameraman that moves with their actions. No mic on Zach. He's a little echoey. He's kind of hard to hear, but you can definitely hear Kyle. And they both take turns teaching. As far as what's taught on the video, you actually get access to 20 different Vimeo files, each one less than 5 minutes long. You're gonna get an intro, you'll get a history. They'll talk about what inspired them and how long it took them to get to production. They'll talk about what's in the box, and then they'll go into alternatives to the case you get, right? What if you want a case that's more similar to the one you own? They'll talk about that, but it should work with most iPhone X cases, and they recommend the cheaper, the better. Then they walk you through the basic VANISH, and they show you some alternate ditch ideas. Then there's gonna be 4 routines. The first routine is called Missed Connection. It's a routine with a coin vanish, and under the distraction of the coin vanishing from your hand, you also vanish your phone. In routine number 2, this is called Payphone, where you slide a dollar bill up from your phone case into the window, and as the bill drops away from the case, you also realize the phone has vanished as well. In routine number 3, it's called SD card. This is where you have a deck of cards, and it becomes a card to impossible location. So any random card they name will appear in the phone case at the same time that your phone vanishes. And of the tricks, this one was my favorite one. Routine number 4 is called Caller ID. This is where your phone jumps to your pocket, so it becomes like phone to pocket, and your driver's license jumps to your phone case. So it's like a trade-off. One jumps there, the other jumps there. Then they'll end with some additional ideas, some more switches, some more vanishes, tips and tricks. They'll talk about using a delight. If you have that, you can combine that effect with this. They'll go into how you charge this. There's a special thanks video, an FAQ video, and an outro. Is it well made? It's very well made. It completely looks legit. You can really see and feel all the R&D that went into this. You can really appreciate getting your money's worth with this. I mean, 40 bucks, come on. Is it worth your money? 40 bucks, and you get a USB chargeable light up device. I mean, 20 videos of teaching 4 routines is totally worth your money. Pocket space, it is the same size as an iPhone X, right? It's gonna take up the same pocket space as an iPhone X. So I don't know what phone you carry with you now, but most of us carry our phone with us every single place we go, right? So if I were gonna say negatives, negatives are, now you're carrying 2 phones. Unless you carry this while you perform and you leave your phone backstage, or you leave your phone with all your personal items. You're doing a walk around at a restaurant, you carry this phone and nothing else. You're doing a walk around at a corporate event, you carry this phone and nothing else. If you're out in the street busking, maybe you can keep this in your pocket and you keep your real phone in your suitcase with all your tricks. I don't know, but I think the biggest negative would be now you're carrying 2 phones to do 1 trick. That said, positives wise though, positives, this is a great, modern, very relevant vanish. I was reading a book the other day, and the magician was talking about how there's so many new tricks coming out. Whereas in the past, you'd get like 20 new tricks a year. Now there's like 20 new tricks a month. And as an older magician like myself, we tend to question, is this a good thing or a bad thing, right? And yes, a lot of new tricks are plug-in-able, charge-able, light-up-able, but that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. And so I think as the world changes and progresses and becomes faster and more accessible, then I think magic is also going to do the same thing as well. So I do think it's a natural thing. It is natural to see more tricks now on the market, especially tricks that are kind of like one and done tricks. Like you're going to buy it, you'll perform it for a month, and then you'll probably never go back to it because there's something new coming out. And I know that flies in the face of what we used to say, but I definitely think that's kind of where magic is going, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. So I think tricks with your cell phone, especially when we talk about tricks that are relevant or tricks with ordinary objects, your cell phone is now an ordinary object, right? So it's only going to be more natural to see more app tricks and more cell phone tricks. I think that's just how it goes. That's just the way it is. Oh, I didn't cover setup and reset. Setup and reset. Let's not forget setup and reset. Nothing really. I mean, like I said, there's the gimmick and then there's the case. They go together, they come apart. So you'll just put it back together. I mean, for your next trick, and it's seconds, literally seconds. I covered negatives. I covered is it worth your money? Who would like this? Street magic, like I was saying, street magic. Corporate walk around, right? I think anybody who's kind of prepared to do magic, but you're not necessarily maybe going to carry your real phone at the same time, like you're going out to perform, I think this would be great. But don't just take my word for it. Don't take my word. Never take my word for it. Never. I'm just one guy. I'm one guy with one opinion. Okay. That's all this is. This review channel. It's my opinion. Okay. My opinion. Go out and get a second opinion. Always. You're going to spend money. Get a second, third, or fourth opinion. Read the forums. Okay. There's other review channels out there. Magic Dream Paris reviewed this as well. And Craig Petty's Magic TV. If you're not already a subscriber to Craig Petty, I don't know why you're not. Craig Petty's Magic TV, great channel, does reviews, rants and raves, interviews, tons of great stuff. Does reviews with his kid. I mean, it's such a fun channel. Definitely go like and subscribe to Craig Petty. All right, that's everything I can say about Dropped Call. I want to thank Illusionist and especially hocus-pocus.com for allowing me to have this so that I could do the review for you. And if you'd like to purchase it for yourself, you can find it right now at hocus-pocus.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. But wait, are you not getting enough magic orthodoxy in your life? Not getting enough of your very favorite magic reviews? Good news. You can join this channel. That's right. You can join Magic Orthodoxy for only $1.99 a month. $1.99 gives you access to 8 brand new videos every single month. 8 new videos that are unseen by the rest of the world. You will have exclusive access to them. Plus, if you join right now for $1.99, you'll get access to over 100 videos that are already in the membership section. That's right, 100 videos. What kind of content? Even more magic videos, top 10 lists, best of the year, head-to-head magic tricks, and my exclusive thoughts on performance and theory. 2 extra videos every single week, $1.99. Just scroll down to where it says Magic Orthodoxy. There's a button next to it that says Join. Click the Join button, and it'll walk you through a series of menus that'll hook you up and get you access today.